Time to kill a frog. Okay. Meditation spot I missed. Take that, I guess. Or maybe I didn't miss it? Did I miss it? I didn't miss it. Okay, I have been here. I've already been here, haven't I? Where do I go? Path lit by lanterns. There we go. There you are. Well, can't have them all. Oh, what? Okay, that I was robbed there. Yep, I know you're gonna make it all poison. It doesn't really matter for me. Ew. It's a nasty looking tapeworm, dude. Okay, heal when I ask you to heal, please, game. Thank you. Dear God. Fucking A. Okay, so that took less time than I was expecting that to take. I was convinced that would be like 15 solid minutes of hunting a frog, but... Bali Gooba. By rocks, a living spring does flow, glistening clear glitters with glow. In its charm, a frog lord does dwell, frog's venom both sweet and foul. Continuing with the previous story, the Taoist was rescued from the cold pond by monks who carried him into the mountains. He initially expected them to take him to a temple for healing, but to his surprise, he threw him into a dungeon. In the dungeon, he endured beguiling chants, suffered from red eyes, and narrowly escaped death multiple times. Despite the hardships, his martial skills improved significantly, which he considered a fortunate turn of events. When he finally returned to the original spot, the frog was nowhere to be found. He left to the New West and continued his journey. One sunny day, the Taoist arrived at a ridge covered in lush greenery, with a few thatched huts indicating habitation. Seeking a place to rest, he stepped into the large courtyard but accidentally fell into a hole. Inside, he found layers of spiderwebs and insect guise everywhere. Fortunately, he was no longer as helpless as before and managed to navigate deeper into the cave. The tadpoles had been nurturing in his gourd suddenly became lively. He squeezed through the stone crevice and saw a large crimson-skinned frog occupying a natural spring, with insect guise keeping their distance. Drawing his sword, he attacked the frog. They fought fiercely in the water, one emitting crackling electricity, the other thrashing its limbs powerfully. As they reached a stalemate, the frog opened its mouth and extended a left hand from within, striking the Taoist's face and sending him back. The frog then tilted its head back, and the Taoist, having learned his lesson, dared not approach. The frog spewed poisonous water, which spread and contaminated the entire pond. The Taoist hadn't anticipated this ability, and lacking any antidote, hurriedly retreated through the stone crevice. As he did, he heard a female voice behind him. "Taoist, why aren't you practicing your swordsmanship at the temple? Are you here to seek death?" Poisoned and unable to respond, he collapsed into a muddy pond. In his hazy state, he heard the woman call for help. "Quick, carry him back to the temple. We can't let him die here. It would be hard to explain." All right. Well, I guess we'll just go back and I guess loop back with Ox King. And then I guess if this episode isn't super long, because this is a new recording, I'll just tack it onto the end of the last one. There'll be like an hour and 5 minute long episode. Who cares? It's fine. Assuming this is the end of the level. I don't know. Maybe it isn't. I sort of just assume the level is over because we're going to like fight the red boy again or something. I don't know. Where the fuck are we headed? What am I doing? Where are we going? Over there. Good for me. Alright. Does Ox King hang dong? We will soon find out. Oh, TGS is happening right now. I didn't even think about that. I'm catching up on news. Dark Souls is discounted on PC. I guess those watching on VOD won't be able to take advantage of those amazing deals. Am I right?
得见你作怪。
莫急啊，老畜生，一会儿就碎了你。
枉我卖弄这般手段，没意思，真没意思。不如都杀了利索。我打扮做那小妖精，自问一般无二，你是怎么看穿的？
他不像你，面上敬我，心里一点儿不惧。
啊，原来如此。
Ida's been dead all along. I'm Lise.
人抓回来。
Does anyone care?
不过，眼下先把你们两个好兄弟烧成灰葬在一起。
It's like the character work here just doesn't matter or make sense. It's completely irrelevant. You're not my daughter, a character who doesn't technically exist in this plot.
我坚强，可不晓得吃素。
He's got range. It's fine.
这就吓破了胆。还有呢，开枪！
I've fought Lai Chi a million times. I know what I'm doing. This is nothing compared to... I can do that. Two can play at this game. Is this all I have to do? Okay. Get down here, you idiot. Face me. Okay. Oh no, all of my guys left. Oh well. It was just bad timing. It's not like this fight is particularly difficult in this phase. Did I just stun lock him? I think I did. That was weird. Did I beat him or does he have a phase 2? Because
这孙子走到哪里，哪里就家破人亡。小儿虽一时落败，但精气未散，只怕不过半晌，还能站起来。这东西我得来后，
Ox Bezoar.
封在胃囊， 婆怕儿子，所以我不敢吃。他来要，我更不敢给。
Could this guy possibly talk slower?
狗屁天命，都是苦命。且莫信了这些方便，此番能否再修正果？全凭之前因缘造化。
He says that. He says we're our choices, our causes and effects or whatever, but like...
多亏这张闭气符，那土地老儿虽然技不如人，也算死得其所。
Hurry up. Let me fight you. I want him to explode, just like in a fine mist. Okay, so it's Bajie and I against him. And he looks like a Rakshasa now. Yaksha King. Okie doke. Soulslike says, oh my god, a false death talisman. That's so crazy. What a twist.
我说怎么删了没下一滴雨，原来一直是你这憨儿在捉弄我。牛哥，捞出来吃一不？对不住，臭小子，叔叔今日就带你父母执行家法。
He is legit the most well designed boss, looking boss in the game so far. Oh, oops. I need to be able to see you. Okay. Yeah, Elden Ring. I got it. Midra. I've seen that before. This Super Sentai music is crazy. His weird, slow, like super floaty animations are so strange. Knock you right out of that one. I'm dead. Fuck. Well. What a bummer. Or is this scripted? Heal me! There we go. Alright, I'm doing okay. Heal. Hee hee. First try, bitch. Let's go. Get dunked on, fool. I got real lucky there.
你这厮甚不通变，只想着报仇，家都不要了。
Yes.
把师兄的东西吐出来！
Is there another phase to this fucking fight? Jesus Christ.
奴家来迟，大王受苦了。他们没一个肯来。
夫人罢了。
两位上仙，万望垂死，饶我儿一命。这孩子是西方夜叉部仅剩的一缕血脉。 身世之悲惨离奇，世间罕有。他现在已无还手之力。若能放他一条生路，我罗刹女与大力王情愿潜心隐性，做官修行，连同一对儿女，永驻火焰山。 我夫妻两人甘心代他受罚。如果上仙不弃，这把宝扇也一并送上。
Just give me my relic. I don't want to do another boss fight.
火出无尽。
Vane was my flame. Interesting.
他们想看的，正是如今我们跪着的模样。
Why are people fighting against us? Don't we want to fuck up the court? What's the problem? Why do people not like Wukong? I don't get it. Like, why are these guys against Wukong when he's fighting against all the Buddhas and stuff? Like, that's the part I don't understand. Wow, so cool. Wow, so sick and awesome. Big, heroic death. Crazy, cool death. Wow. We're all stunned by how cool this was. What a triumphant end. What a defiant end. This character means so much to us. Why is there a piggy in there? Why does that matter? Two-headed piggy. It's like cat dog, but just pig pig. Why is this one of Wukong's relics?
熊皮，你戴罪立功，赐饮一对。雕鼠，你替天行道，耳朵拿去。黄梅，你重振旗鼓，鼻子收好。白眼，你忍辱负重，舌头留下。牛魔，你大义灭亲最是不义， 他的身子留给你了。
What? Matiamba, right? That's who this is? Or is this the Ox King? I don't know. That's the Ox King, I guess. I've seen other stuff by the studio that did this animation, I think. This isn't how Wukong died, though, in the opening. This isn't what it looked like. When did this happen? Is this just another time Wukong died? Because he mostly just fell out of the sky.
这老牛真是晦气到家了，这一辈子就没选对过一次。
But Ox King wasn't there in the opening. What's going on? What is this revisionist history?
你省些力气，咱们还要杀上天去擒那玉帝老儿。此子看着像是天兵头领。
Like, you can't show us.
我殿后，我去会他一回。
You can't show us what happened, and then just add another cutscene at the end where they're adding things that didn't happen in a scene we already saw. I'm very puzzled.
我知你不情愿，可我又何尝不是勉强？那孩子，是他们逼我吃了子母河的水，借腹而生。若无那只猴子，我们本可当这一切从未发生。你我从此两地分居，各自清静。
老匹夫，你早知我身世，为何还愿做他们的狗？孩儿本不想与你恩断义绝，你若还念一丝骨肉情分，就该把那东西交付于我，放我回去给同族报仇。
大王，这把扇子送与那猢狲，叫他退兵去吧。
Is it just replaying? Did the events that we just witnessed just replay? Is it revisionist history for literally 5 minutes ago? What is happening?
你弟我教训了，你儿我送人了。
No, I guess that's Wukong because he has the circlet.
那柄扇子我也要定了。任师傅修正过，只有这条路是留给我们走的。 长兄还不明白吗？
猴哥，那老牛的小娘子也被我一耙处死了。拨开一看，哎，原来是个玉面离情。
That's Neja, right? I know them from Shin Megami Tensei. So wait, was he dead or was he alive? Does time exist in this narrative? Is there like a linear timeline? What's going on?
我一直以为攒了功德，入了仙班，他们就会放过我，也会放过你们。原来我这样的人，只要独自活着，便是罪过。
This isn't how the opening ended. So what is happening?
照顾好妻儿。
Which is canon?
好花的东西，碰不得。
We saw him explode into the mountain. We saw the rock. This is not how it went in the literal opening cutscene of the game. I'm so confused. It's just nonsense.
夜叉毕竟是8部战力之首，纵然铁打的筋骨死个百十回也合情理。可那小鱼儿、小车子，为何也打得这般狼狈？风风火火，云里雾里，你所见即是你所愿。若不是心神不安，怎会被自作聪明的孩儿所骗？急之亦不暇，缓之或自明。下次没了悟能，你还能悟空吗？
Red Boy. On his red skin, talent may shine, eyes glaring bright, a mischievous sign. Samadhi fire forged, yet heart unrefined. The gate to Mount Lingshan lies within the mind. For many years, the Red Boy had been having the same nightmare. In his childhood, he shared this nightmare with his mother. Mother, there were so many people, they were all coming to kill me. My dear, once you fall asleep again, you'll forget all about it by tomorrow. Yet the boy was excited. But I am very powerful. I defeated monks as tall as mountains, strange birds, and fire-breathing statues. I'm not afraid of them all. Oh, how brave you are, my dear. He continued, I dreamt that I grew into an adult with long horns on my head and long spikes on my hands. I could kill a bunch of bad people at once, but there were too many of them. I couldn't kill them all. Later, some strange people I had never seen before came. They hung quietly in the sky, not coming down, just watching me from above. His mother pulled him into her arms. If that day ever comes, your father and I will go to the sky with you and kill them all. Will we die? I dreamt that they killed me, and I turned into a red lotus flower, and mother, you picked this lotus flower, and I became your child again. He continued to chatter. Mother, if I die, would you be willing to give birth to me again? Don't you ever say this again. Yaksha King. Fangs bared, eyes like twin lanterns bright, in battle's clash he finds delight. Agile and brave, with skills so fine, yet lost in wandering his fates decline. The raging flames had reached the golden hall, but the sounds of battle outside were deafening, though they were muffled within. The king, gravely wounded, sat amidst the wreckage, holding a recently deceased young boy in his arms. A figure stood behind the curtain, sighing, such devastation, don't you see, it's all because of you. The king remained silent. Whether the Yaksha royal lineage continues or ends depends entirely on your decision today. The king couldn't help but put a glance around the golden hall, still able to see traces of its former glory. They say Yakshas are the most resolute, yet you as their king are hesitant and indecisive. The king gently stroked his son's face, its body still warm. He wished so dearly that the boy could see the vast and beautiful world. If you have even a shred of lingering desire, why not try my method? The unattainable wish in your heart, I will take care of it for you. As a king, was he not even allowed to die on the battlefield? The king closed his eyes. Finally, he opened them and slowly said, since there is no salvation, I will leave me and my son at your disposal. Splendid. It's not too late to understand it now. The figure clapped. A white-clad Taoist emerged from behind. The Taoist approached the Yaksha king, bowed, then sat cross-legged on the ground. He extended his hands above the boy's head and began to chant softly. Before long, a small blood-red lotus flower emerged slowly from the boy's forehead. Crystal clear and vibrant, the Taoist carefully plucked the lotus and placed it into a bowl he carried. The Yaksha king fixed his unblinking gaze at the lotus. The figure said, this red lotus is the essence of your son's soul. To ensure it does not dissipate before successful reincarnation, we will need your life in the water from the river of childbearing. The Yaksha king raised his arm, taking one last look at the blood lotus. I will do it myself. Ping Ping. Born to a fate of trials and woes, who pities the ebb and flow of those. Better to live in nature's embrace, freely to wander, freely to repose. After delivering her homework to her mother, Ping Ping went to the Height of Ember. Her brother had asked her to meet him there, said he had something important to discuss. When she arrived, she saw Red Boy standing with his hands on his hips, directing quick as fire and fast as wind to burn the bull guais to flee as his way of training them. Amused at this scene, he laughed loudly and boisterously. Brother, Ping Ping called softly. Ever since Red Boy returned from Guanyan's tutelage, she felt he had changed. Every time she spoke to him, a subtle fear tugged at her heart. Upon seeing her arrival, Red Boy waved to halt the training and turned to her. Ping Ping, let's engage in a game, he proposed. You will run and I will chase you. Let us see if I can catch you before an incense stick burns out. In the past, Ping Ping would transform into a little fox, leaping through rocks and crevices, having always had the upper hand. Yet this time, Red Boy shattered her hiding rocks with a single spear thrust, scorching her standing deadwood with a breath of fire, and flew over the cliffs as she jumped across as a red cloud. In less than half the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Red Boy effortlessly caught her inside. Mother's teachings are still too gentle. Seeing his sister's gloomy face, Red Boy took her to rest by the cliff in the Furnace Valley. To cheer her up, he twirled his fire point for her entertainment. Seeing his little sister clapping and cheering, Red Boy asked, "How do you think my skills compare to Father's?" Ping Ping couldn't answer. She had never dared to make such a comparison. She took out the fire dates her mother had rewarded her with and shared them with the Red Boy, changing the subject to talk about anecdotes in the mountains. Seeing this, Red Boy didn't press further and responded perfunctorily. Ping Ping cautiously said, "Brother, you and I have always been the closest. If you have something on your mind, you can tell me. It's not easy for our family to be reunited. I just want to live peacefully in these mountains away from the worldly strife." Gazing at the burning clouds, Red Boy said, "Sister, you should see more of the world outside. There's no such thing as living away from the worldly strife. It's just self-deception of losers." The translation is just bad. It's just bad. Ping Ping wanted to ask him who he was competing with and why he had to compete, but before she could speak, she felt a blow at the back of her neck and fainted. Rakshasi. From dawn to dusk, toil's bitter strain. Day and night, home's burdens remain. Destiny shows no mercy. Merciful she became. Why is her household light the hardest to sustain? Mount Lingshang, vulture peak before the thunderclap temple. Rakshasi clasped her intertwined hands tightly, steadying her trembling body, striving to appear calm and serene. She had traveled to many places on this journey. Domains of the Yaoguai kings she befriended in the mortal realm. Abodes of the gods she met in the celestial realm. The immortal islands on the sea, and even the underworld, she had visited them all. She also went to the Tushita Palace to seek advice from her master, yet the latter had only offered a heartfelt persuasion. "I ordered you to raise a child, but I did not ask you to be a true mother. Let the boy stir his trouble. As long as you and your husband stay out of it, you will be safe." Her master's words left her in despair. She knew that no protection would the Flaming Mountains receive. This was their destiny ordained. But she knew her son all too well, reckless and wild, vengeful and unforgiving. After all the suffering he had endured over the years, unless he could vent his anger, the only way to resolve the siege of Flaming Mountains would be to break his spine. Thus she came here for revenge, how to exact it. She had no idea, her mind a blank void. "Lady Rakshasi, the master summons you inside." Ananda stood at the temple door, his voice gentle as ever. She straightened her back, gripping the plantain fan tightly in her hand, and hoarsely replied, "Thank you, Venerable." As she walked into the hall, flanked by the 8 great Vajras and 500 Arhats, she seemed to hear faint laughter, but all she saw in her peripheral vision was solemn and dignified figures. Reaching at the base of her lotus throne, she knelt with her head held high, clutching the fan tightly. "Rakshasi, what brings you here to seek an audience with me?" She remained silent, gripping the fan with all her might, ready to unleash its divine wind at any moment. The hall was deathly quiet. All eyes were on her. She could feel the Vajras glaring with their angry eyes, the Arhats staring with their wrathful gazes, and all divine figures transforming into fierce visages. She lowered her head. I greet you on behalf of my master." A booming laughter echoed, deafening. Within that laughter, she heard the cries of an infant and the innocent giggles of a child, the roars of an adolescent and the cycle of blooming and withering flowers, the growth of grass and the flight of orioles over millennia. She heard the embers extinguishing in the Flaming Mountains. Bull King. Renowned as the mighty king, his life was far from plain. His spirit spanned the 3 realms, his fame touched 4 domains. Among the Guais, a hero grand, wild, and untamed. The sudden arrival of Dharma left his homeland forever chained. With Shadow as his companion, true enlightenment within him lay. In days of yore, the Bull King converted to Buddhism and within a century completed his practice and returned to the Flaming Mountains. Overjoyed, Rakshasi and Ping Ping loudly celebrated his return and hosted a grand banquet in his honor. During the banquet, the keeper of Flaming Mountains asked, "My king, why did you return so hastily?" The Bull King replied, "As an old friend with whom I had some misunderstandings in the past helped me achieve a great merit. The Bodhisattva then pleaded with Buddha on my behalf, granting me the grace to return. From now on, I will stay in the mountain and go nowhere else." From that day on, the Bull King's temperament changed drastically. His former wild and unrestrained nature was no longer seen. He declined all invitations, ceased his travels, and instead stayed in Flaming Mountains, helping Rakshasi with household affairs and training the bull soldiers, living a very peaceful life. Several decades later, Red Boy received instructions from the Bodhisattva and returned to Flaming Mountains to serve his parents. The family of 4 enjoyed a period of peace. However, Rakshasi gradually noticed something unusual about the Bull King. He became increasingly thin, his face showing signs of aging, and he ate less, as if weighed down by heavy worries. More strangely, the Bull King sometimes transformed into his original form, retreating to the mountain peaks retching. The furry celestial maiden serving Rakshasi said the king might be suffering from rare bovine illness. The fox maiden serving Ping Ping said the king, aware of his past sins, might have learned an ascetic practice, and Mount Lingshan now is undergoing it. The keeper of Flaming Mountain said the king's mind is trapped in the past, intertwines with his old friend, unable to break free. Bad grammar, bad translation. Those past events have become invisible shackles from which he will never escape. God, for fuck's sake, finally.